What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Same Difference podcast.
Is this thing on?
Hello.
What's going on, friend?
What's going on? Long time no see on the podcast.
I know, you look cute. You look real cute. Come on, hair and
Do
glasses. Yeah. Yes, it's a look. The whole vibe.
Thanks, friend.
And I'm looking like a bum.
Girl, whatever. This just a little something I threw together real quick because this ain't really what I was trying to give, but it's all I had time for.
Well,
Okay.
you look great. You look
Well,
great.
thanks.
It's cold here in Chicago, so like I don't even want to get dressed because it's cold. It's 51 degrees. And it rained yesterday, like in the middle of the day. I mean, it rained all day, but like it was in the middle of the day. So like by Friday night, it wasn't bad, but it was windy and cold, and it's cold. So I got this. I got
out of the car, Pascha, today. I got out the car and it said 95. So I don't know nothing about 51, babes. Haven't seen her in quite a while.
I'm jealous. Between my friends being on vacation in Mexico and you enjoying 95-degree weather. The universe is telling me I need a weekend in Miami or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but what have you been up to since we last talked?
Losing my mind.
Why are you losing your mind, girl?
Because I just don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what my life is currently. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. And that's really the truth. I've just gotten okay with the fact that I just don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where this is going. I trust that it's going in the direction God said it would, but at the moment it don't look like what the fruit is supposed to look like. It's just looking like the seed in the dirt. And I'm watering it as best I can, but I don't see not even a little bud blooming just yet. So I don't know.
No.
I just try not to lose my mind every day.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes feel like I don't know up from down. And definitely would like to know what the next phase of my life is going to look like as I roll into my 40s. It sounds so weird saying that, but because I still feel like very young and not 40. So I'm where you're at a little bit. Like I don't know what the future holds. I really truly don't, and I'm just going to trust God. Like literally all I can do is drink my water, mind my business, go to work, get a little workout in, and just pray for the best. Like that's all I got. That's really all that I have.
What do you mean when you say old, and then you say almost 40? Does that feel old to you? Do you feel old?
I mean, in the sense of like dating and getting married and having a baby, like that window's closing. You know.
Oh my gosh, Pascha, you are my true soul sister. Oh my gosh, because it's so crazy. I was literally laying in the bed last night. If it wasn't last night, it was the night before. My days run together. But I literally was like, I was thinking about something and I was like, well, yeah, maybe for my birthday next year. And I was like, wait, next year? Because of course my birthday is at the end of the year. So at the end of this year, I will be, which you're just a few months older than me. I will be 39, which means next year I'll be turning 40. And I was like, wait, I'll be 40? I'm going to be me, Joy. I'm going to be 40 years old next year. It blows my mind even think that is real. 40 don't look like what I thought 40 would look like.
No, not at all.
It just is. Yeah.
It's something that's on my mind a lot, like a lot. And
every day for me. Yeah.
And when
more days than not for me.
Yeah. And I think also because now I'm like, well, shit, I guess I can't. Let me not be so worried about what's not happening in my life right now. And focus on, what the next however many years I'm blessed to live look like? And, I want to be healthy. I want to look good, and I still want to be happy. And, like, let's maybe get comfortable with what life looks like without marriage and, a family of your own. Like, I need to get comfortable there. I mean, I don't, what's interesting is I am comfortable. I've been here. I've been in this space for a really long
Insane.
time.
Insane. I'm comfortable, but this is not what I want.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not close to what I want. This does not look like what I want. It just don't.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which I don't want to. I feel I don't know where to start and end and stop. But this conversation is reminding me of, I listened to Michelle Obama and her brother's podcast with Tracee Ellis Ross earlier today.
Yes. Yes.
And Tracee Ellis Ross was so refreshing to hear her speak very, very openly and very honestly about what it is like to be a 52-year-old woman who is still single. And she talked about specifically the grief that surrounds her about not having a child and not being married at this stage of her life. And I think that is the perfect way to describe that. I feel like there's a grief. I feel like I'm in a season of grief. Yeah. Nobody's died. But I feel like I'm in a season of grief, not only grieving what I thought 38 would look like for me, but there's a grief that surrounds watching your parents get older.
Yeah.
There's a grief that surrounds friendships that lose the connection that you used to have for no other reason than just life is happening and moving in different directions. There's nothing wrong or no beef. It's just we are all trying to live our own lives and at some point meet back in the middle to catch up and reconnect and all of those things. But there's a grief around us not being able to talk as often, meet each other as often, go out. There's a grief around all of that, and that's literally how I feel. I feel like I'm in a season of grief.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel of disappointment. I would be a liar if I said that I do worry about what people think and say about me because I'm not married and I don't have any kids. Well, what's wrong with her? Well, why ain't she got no man? I don't think it would bother me if there wasn't such a stigma around Black women reaching a certain age with that are single and don't have children. Like, why is the assumption that something is wrong with me? Or that, like, no one's perfect and we all have our things. But when you hear men speak about women after a certain age who don't have kids, they automatically think something is wrong. And so, I'm already operating at -10 when I meet you because you've assessed my age. You see, I don't have any kids. And, for some reason at 38, single, no kids, something must be wrong with you. And so that, that makes me feel away. It's harder to get away from that, I guess. It's harder to ignore. Like, I feel like there's such negative messaging around Black women who are of a certain age that the romantic part of their life and the expansion of their family hasn't happened. It's really disappointing. But I only listened to, there was one clip that kind of got the people going when Tracee Ellis Ross was talking with the former first lady and her brother, and it had to do with the type of men that she has chosen to date at 52. And we, in our terms, at our age, when we talking to a young dude or a young guy wants to come around, we want to call him a YN, right? And so it was funny to hear Tracee speak about the younger men that she chooses to date and her reasons why.
Well, I listened to it and I didn't hear her say nothing about her choosing to date younger men. I thought I heard her talking about the differences between men of this generation versus men who are her age, which is 52. And when she says this generation, I'm assuming her to mean mid 20s to maybe mid 30s, 40, something of that nature. I didn't hear her say she was dating younger men. Did she say that? I'm sorry, y'all, for the people on this particular phone. I'm trying to get my phone. I realize y'all can only see me, and I want y'all to see Pasha as she's speaking. So I'm trying to figure out a way to prop this up.
So I didn't watch the full. I didn't watch the full interview. I just watched this one. I don't know. It's probably 5 minutes where she just. What I got from that clip was that she enjoys dating younger men versus men her age because they seem to be a little bit more free. They're not up to the same antics that older gentlemen in her age range are.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, and what's interesting is that their critique was that, you know, oh, if it was a man saying this same thing that she wants to talk to younger guys because of A, B, C, D, E, we be getting drugged, but it's okay for Tracee Ellis Ross to say it because toxic masculinity, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, there are a lot of Black actors, successful Black men actors that are single or not even actors, just famous men in a certain age range that aren't married. They're seemingly single, probably got something going on the side. But when I think of like Nia Long, Sanaa Lathan, Regina King, Regina Hall, like none of those beautiful, talented Black women are married, and I'm curious of why. I don't know. I just found Tracy's conversation very interesting with what we see as like consumers of, celebrity and, movies, music. It's just what we see happening in the celebrity world, I think is happening. Let me think of how I want to word this. Because like the experience that we're having, I'm seeing older women, older, beautiful, successful women that are at the top of their game in a certain profession have the same problem.
Well, I think context is important, and of course, the clip. People know what clips are going to go viral. The sound bites that are really get the people going, and that really, I listened to it this morning myself, so this fresh on my brain. She wasn't saying that she dates younger men. She also didn't say that she didn't, but she was just making a comparison about some of the things that she has encountered with men her age.
Mm-hmm.
For example, she's been out on, let's say, a dinner date, and a man will say something and she will be like, I'm sorry, what did you just say? And there seems to be versus the younger men, she said there seems to be with younger men, they have an understanding of just a tolerance for things that the older generation doesn't. For example, they don't really care if you gay, straight, otherwise curious. That's not their business. They don't care. Whereas she's been on dates with men her age, and they are speaking about that demographic of people in such a negative way and putting them, that was what she was referring to. She was talking about she liked that the younger generation that's coming up is more open. They're more in tune with their feelings. They're talking about how they feel about certain things, whereas it usually was just women in their own inner circles and close groups talking about and expressing their feelings and things that they're going through. And even in podcasting, you see men doing that now and being comfortable with sharing how they feel about some of the same things that we talk about.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to just get a 10-second clip and make a statement, but even that is telling about a person's character and the inner workings of what they actually think and who they are as a person, which can sometimes steer you away from even wanting to date them at all. That's what Tracee Ellis Ross was talking about. But I do think that there are similarities. For some reason, people think that there wouldn't be, but there are similarities between more affluent people who are in the entertainment industry and their experiences that they go through dating versus somebody like you and I who are, in the working world and just trying to figure stuff out on our own. We're running across the same situations, and it is what Tracee Ellis Ross referred to as the acceptance and the I can't remember the wording she used, but the toxic masculinity that is really plaguing men of today, the red pill content, the podcasts that are just making men feel like women are property, they are possessions, they don't have their own free will, that men should have say so over a woman's body and her choices, so on and so forth. And she was just saying, because she is of a mindset that is a little bit not as limited, it's hard for her to find somebody who's 52 who's okay with the things that she's okay with, even down to gender fluidity. No, that's for her, that ain't for me. But yeah, I definitely can relate to what she was saying as far as her dating life. And again, like the people you mentioned, who did you say? Regina Hall. Who else did you say?
Regina King, Sanaa Lathan, Nia
Yeah,
Long.
like just beautiful, successful, well-rounded Black women. And it's like, God damn it, them bitches ain't got no nigga. I got it. Ain't no hope for me. You know?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna watch it. Honestly, I wasn't going to. I didn't care to tune in, and I didn't care to tune into the discourse that was happening behind Tracee Ellis Ross one, because that's Diana Ross's granddaughter. She would do what the fuck she wants, or not her granddaughter. That's her daughter. She can do.
I don't tune into any discourse. I don't. I see discourse on stuff all the time, and I read it, but I don't even. I'm not touching it.
That's why I was like, I know people are looking at a clip and they're probably like, they're freaking out about a clip, but I'm not about to go back, and this one clip isn't going to make me go watch this podcast to find out about Tracee Ellis Ross's, dating preferences and her experiences, because you know what? Everyone sucks. Everyone sucks. Okay. So whatever she's saying, I believe her. The end. That's where it starts and stops for me. I believe her.
I think the men feel the same way though. The men who are not stuck in 1962, they feel the same way. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. We are of the same age, having the same struggles in dating, and it's like, if women are online talking about how difficult this is, and there are men online talking about how difficult, how come we can't get it together? What's going on? And is this us or is this everybody? It's really starting to seem like it's everybody, because I even see some white folks online talking about the difficulty that they're having.
Yes. I know some white women in their late 30s, almost 40, that are single with a cat, living life. No man, no kids. And, their experience with men isn't that great.
Right.
So it just seems to be just an epidemic in general. On the
Now, if you are watching on live, y'all gonna see me toggle back and forth because Pasha put a wonderful run of show together. So I'm just trying to tap in. Y'all gonna get to see it. It won't be on the actual recording that will be posted on YouTube once Pasha finishes producing the show. But I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. And I'm just gonna not go back to that and let Pasha run the show. Okay, there we go.
So I just, I found the discourse around what Tracee Ellis Ross had to say interesting, because what she said wasn't inflammatory. She wasn't talking down on anybody. She wasn't talking about one type of guy. She was just speaking from a lived experience, right? It's interesting.
But a hit dog will holler. Cause see, when I hear men talk about how trifling women are, or how they smell bad, or how they don't take care of their kids, I don't get offended. That don't apply to me. I let it fly.
Right.
It don't bother me. That's literally that ain't my lane.
Right.
And I know that their experience is the truth, because I done been in the bathroom with some of these hoes. It's funky.
So I have some comments about Black women that I've seen out and about that are not, they're not unkind, because I'm not saying anything mean. But if I was a man at my age, single, fine, making money, got my own spot, no kids, and I went out and I saw this selection, I would be disappointed. I'd be disappointed, or they're like, dang, okay, I'm not really seeing, ain't no real, ain't nothing up in here for real. Like, okay, dang.
Now, when you say up in here, though, what spot we talking about? Because you don't see the same thing at Walmart that you see at Target.
I was at a Walmart. We'll say I was at like a Walmart.
Okay. So a man your age, looking good, making money, shouldn't be in Walmart looking for anything but a good time. You shouldn't be in there looking for your wife. You shouldn't be calling on God when you're in Walmart. You need to tell the devil pipe down.
But even if you wanted to have a good time, there wasn't anything in there that you would want to have a good time with.
Okay.
Like, if you have your stomach out tonight, then I shouldn't feel any kind of way about having my stomach out. The hair, the lashes, it's, if your man want to take you down in the shower, he probably can't, for real. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm gonna raise my hand to get taken down in the shower because my hair, I get it, but also if you just being spontaneous and some fun shit happen, I don't know how much fun is being had when you got to worry about all of the stuff that I saw. My first thought was,
Okay, so you're talking about a lived experience, something specific.
Yeah, I'm just, I have some thoughts.
Well, I think everything got to be taken with a grain of salt, because I don't go nowhere in Atlanta. I mean, sorry, I'm not in Atlanta. I don't go nowhere in Orlando. Y'all know that. But if we go back to Atlanta, it's just certain places that I don't go because I know what's there.
Yep.
For prime example, I moved to Atlanta in 2017. There was this street. It was Peter Street. Peter Street ain't what it used to be. There was this street called Peter Street, and Peter Street was just riddled with places you could, pop in spots. Oh, Atlanta was a time, baby. We used to have a time. I would not be down Peter Street looking for nothing serious. I'm down Peter Street with my homegirls, okay, having a good time. That's the only thing I'm down Peter Street for.
Yeah.
So when I go in there and I see the ratchetness, when I go down there and I see old net type of stuff, okay, if you in Atlanta, if you know, when I say old net, I'm seeing old net. I'm not looking for Buckhead. I'm not seeing North Druid Hills down Peter Street. Not nothing I'm seeing. They might be down there, but we all out here for shits and giggles. We're not down here for anything serious. Now, when I go up to what's the name of a street? Far Road. See, when I'm on Far Road, it's a different type of situation. It's a different conversation to be had. Okay? And to relate it to you, Pasha, some of the things I think we saw on West 6 in Cleveland, Ohio, is not the type of things we would see when we went to whatever that spot was when the last time you were in Atlanta and we were together. There's a different level and a different type of man in those places. And I may have my eye open for a man when I'm in the second place.
Yeah.
But when I'm in the first place, we just trying to drink and kick it. We just trying to have a good time.
Hear a song or two.
Yeah. Going into a place that the girls got their bellies out and their hair colors in and their lashes high to the sky. Take that with a grain of salt, baby. You should be there for a good time. If you're looking for something serious, then that ain't the place for you to be. Simple as that.
Very well said, because boy, I didn't want to say them bitches was in there looking toe, and I don't and they was in there. They were in there. It was just and I caught one looking at me, and it was very stank-a-lang, kind of like, look at this square ass bitch up in here. What the hell you got on? I got on boots and a long ass dress, and it was like, well, I was giving fashion. Okay, so and fashion don't mean that my not in shape stomach is out. Okay, that's not my version of fashion, mama. Sorry.
Do you know the name of Drewski's show? You know, Drewski got that show where he looking for love. Yeah, the girls on that show, they can look, but what can you really do when they looking at women who are on Real Housewives? Not a thing.
Yeah.
That's the type of ebb and flow, the night and day we talking about. We talking about the gutter and the trash, and we talking about upper echelon.
Yep. Speaking of, because I can't believe I didn't even remember West 6th Street until you said it. I yes, no, I went outside in Cleveland. I sure did. And shout out to the Cleveland Browns for picking up Shedeur Sanders. We will be talking about that later on in the show. But
I don't even like the Browns, but baby, I'm watching for Shedeur.
At all.
Okay, I feel like if you black and you got a team, we still need to be paying attention to the Browns, because we try to see what Shedeur doing. We try to give him as much support as he needs.
Yes, okay? And I want to see this Black father Hall of Famer guide his son through his own NFL career. But before we get there, because you brought up the club and going out, I went out last night, and I've officially I have decided that I am done with that. I want to go.
Wow. Where did you go? Did you go to West 6? Or
I didn't. No. Actually, I did. Chicago has great nightlife. There is always something to do there. Every single weekend, I can find 5 places to go. To find a scene and be cute or whatever. I don't really have a network of friends here that I can go out with. One, because we are women of a certain age. It's still kind of cold outside. It's expensive as hell. There's a number of reasons, and so I'm less inclined to go out alone. So I like to get outside, but if I'm at home, I'll really be at home for real. Like, I've been at home all day. I have only been outside to take Luigi for his walk and stuff. I've been in the crib chilling. So anyway, I was bored yesterday, and I was like, work is really busy. I've kind of been grinding. I feel very inspired to make content again, and I want to take my boyfriend Lewis out. So I'm so I want to go have a drink and sit my Lewis right in front of my face and look at him while
we say Lewis. She's talking about Louis V.
My purse. So I was like, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna have a couple drinks, and then I'm gonna just go home just to get out of the house. And it's something that I kind of been doing for the past month and a half. Either I'll go out on a, Friday like I did yesterday, or I'll go out on Saturday for an hour or two just to get out of the house and really explore Chicago and not waste away at home. So when this girl that, works in the insurance industry, she hit me up and she was like, hey, are you out tonight? My neighbor, it's his birthday, and he's, partying. He's got friends in town, and he told me to invite you. And I went out with them for St. Patrick's Day a month ago. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And she was like, we're actually about to head, we're just sat down to dinner. And she was like, but I'll call you in about, an hour to meet up. And I'm like, perfect. I go to the cute little steakhouse with a beautiful chandelier, because I'm like, I ain't been there in a while. I'm going to go and sit at the bar. Cutest little bar. Had my little dirty martini. Delicious. And it was a cute little vibe. Like, I was, editing.
Do you like olives, or in yours, olives or no olives?
Regular olives. I don't do the blue cheese olives.
Okay.
So, I'm editing my little TikTok video, got my headphones in, and, I'm just kind of, vibing with my martini. Had 2 of them, was feeling good. And then, my little homegirl was like, we're going to go to this party at this place, meet us. And so I Googled I put the place in, and the place is all the way up north by my house.
Oh, you could have just waited until they was heading up there.
Right. But not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. I was like, well, if I go all the way back out that way, I'm probably just going to go home. And if it's a ticketed party and I can't really get in, I don't want to, worry about that. So,
but no, if you're just going to go right in, you're going to go, right?
So this is what ended up happening. I had my 2 martinis and I was
I
like,
know if you stepped out, you stepped out. So like, let's not waste the outfit.
no, I didn't waste the outfit. I stayed out till about 12:30, so it was cool. And
Okay.
I had got out by like 10 o'clock, 10:30. So the plan was they were gonna go from dinner to this bar. So the place that I was having my drinks at was down the street from the bar. So I go to the bar because it's getting late, and I'm like, well, I'm sure there's gonna be a line, and I don't want to be standing out in this cold. Sure enough, there's a line standing outside, and it's just like it's cold as fuck, and it's 10:30. There's not a lot of people in this bar yet. Like, let us in. So that already just kind of like ruined and just pissed me off. And then they were like, we're going to this place, and the place was up north by my house. And so I had told her, I was like, that's kind of close to where I live, and I came all the way down here, so I'm probably just gonna stay downtown. She's solid and was like, we're getting an Uber, we're coming to get you, and then we're gonna go. And I'm like, all right. So they come scoop me, hop in with them. We go to the other bar, slide in because it was a ticketed event, but I didn't have one. I wasn't getting one. So I mean, they had a little bit of a line situation, but they moved swift. We got in, and I just got in there and just started looking around, and the music is fire. Chicago, the DJs out here, they be songs that I didn't think I would ever hear in a club. I've heard, and that is always such a good feeling. But then I was just kind of thinking to myself, like, I don't feel as though I belong here.
Was there not a lot of us in the building?
Oh no, we was in there. We was in there. It was
so why you don't feel like you belong?
I just because it was the club, and I don't know that like I the clothes I like to wear and the things I like to do. I want to sit at a supper club or a lounge or at in a nice restaurant at the bar.
Was standing?
Huh?
This was standing.
Yeah, like this club didn't have like sections. It wasn't nothing like that. Like so the experience for me isn't like clubbing is like a grind. And when you young,
only line I'm standing in these days, Pastor, only line I'm standing in is a line to check out at the grocery store.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
so there was a lot of that yesterday, and then I had a couple drinks. It was a fun group. It was a cool little night for what it was. But when I got home, I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like if I'm really gonna go to a party and pop out, it's because it's a real reason to pop out. Like putting the whole outfit on, doing the whole everything. Like I need it to be like just.
Do you think you would have felt that way if you had if I was in Chicago and I was with you? Do you think you still would have felt the same way? Because a lot of times for me, I'm of the same mind. I'm trying to be better about getting out the house. I don't know if it was you I talked to or if it was my sister or Kevon or who it was, but I was saying every week I'm trying to pick a day where I get out the house. Yeah. Even if it ain't but for 2 hours, even if it's only me going to sit at a bar and get a meal and just be amongst people. Yeah. I'm just trying to get accustomed to getting out of the house, and eventually I'll bump into the right people, or I'll find out what the happening night is. Oh, you got to go to this place on this night, because I don't know any of that. Even still, after being in Orlando for a year, I don't know anything. Yeah. But I do feel like even if I went somewhere where I didn't do anything but go to the bar, order an appetizer, get 2 drinks, and go home, if I had somebody with me, if I had my right wing with me, we could make it more than what it actually typically is. So I'm asking you, if you were out, do you feel like I'm not really feeling this because like I've been invited and it's a cool group, but I don't have my people.
No, very much that. Very much that. It's definitely that feeling is motivated by that. Like I have some friends that will be coming in town for Beyonce. They'll be coming in town for Black Yacht Weekend. So it's gonna be good to like see them and be able to like run around the city with them while they're here. But yeah, like yesterday I was like, I'm just catch me at the little bar, the little cute bar with the nice ambiance on the inside. I won't be doing this line shit, and it's cool. I'm cool.
Because the thing about the nice bar with the ambiance is the people that are there are with their homegirls. Yeah. Most people there aren't alone.
Yeah.
So if I go somewhere, if I was in Chicago and I was with you and we went to the supper club that you're talking about, we would be so enveloped in conversation that if there was a single girl there, like even sitting beside one of us, we wouldn't even necessarily be tapped into her.
Yeah.
Because we go into what we got going on in our friendship and our connection and conversation. So I get it, friend. I get it. I understand.
And then of course I saw a lot of, brown boys with their, hand in hand, and I'm cold, I'm just outside cold alone. But back to the Tracee
Because we're
Ellis.
gonna get to that, but go on head back because we're gonna get to that too.
Well, I just, we've talked about Tracee Ellis Ross and kind of, her speaking about her lived experience. And there's someone else, another Black successful, celebrity that's found themselves in the headlines for their behavior in their romantic entanglement. I'm talking about Shannon
Can we
Sharpe.
call this a romantic entanglement? Well, this just an entanglement. This just some bullshit. That's what this is. That's what that is. And what's so crazy? Tracee Ellis Ross, royalty, fine shit. Okay, actor, businesswoman, just all around well-rounded, a looker.
Yeah.
Style and grace. 52 years old.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharpe. Some of the same in 56. And you with somebody younger than my damn brother who gonna be 25 in next week. What?
So I bring Shannon up because he did an interview with Monique, and Monique was getting on him about the women he was choosing to date, and she was telling him, stop dating these little young girls, stop dating these little young girls. And so that got clipped up and kind of went viral or whatever. Now it's coming
it must
back.
be something that's a known thing with him for her to even say that, because he never mentioned it in their interview. When he interviewed Monique, he never said, oh yeah, I'm messing with the young. He never said that. Talk to him as though I know what is going on and leave the shit alone.
Yeah.
So I feel like amongst that type of circle of people, they know Shannon doing some nonsense he ain't got no business doing. And not only Monique, I can't remember the name of the comedian, it's slipping my mind at the moment, but the comedian actually was talking about the fact that he actually had a baby with a young woman who was in her early 20s. And he was much more seasoned. I want to say he was in his late 40s to early 50s, and he had a baby with her. And Shannon was almost shaming him, like, why you ain't date her mama? Why you ain't date her mama? What you,
Really?
I'm gonna figure out the name. Yeah. Yeah. Why you ain't date her mama? And that clip has been recirculating. So much so, the baby mama has come out and made a video on TikTok about it.
Oh no.
The baby mama of the comedian that he was talking about. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So what are your when stuff like this happens, I laugh.
So let's give some more context to our audience.
Okay, yes.
Maybe they don't know.
Well, Shannon Sharpe has been involved with this young woman who is all of 22, 23 years old. I'm
hearing conflicting stories about that too.
Allegedly, he met her 2 or 3 years ago when she was
19. Okay.
At the gym.
That's where they met. Okay.
Yeah, apparently she's an OnlyFans model, and they were. What I'll say is they was hooking up, but it was a specific type of hooking up that was taking place because he has a kink, she has a kink. Not sure.
But in order to find out somebody got a kink, you actually got to have some sort of rapport with them before we even get to that. Because we don't meet each other and say, hey, I'm Joy. Hey, I'm Shannon. I have a kink of XYZ.
Well,
that's not how they go.
There's a rapport there because there's a lot of text messages and some footage and some recorded phone calls.
I didn't see the footage, but I did read some of the texting.
Yes. I didn't see footage, and I don't know that will be released. When Shannon gave his, with his little PSA, he was like, if you're going to release the tape, release the whole tape. But sounds to me like they had some freaky shit going on. It was consensual, and I guess in the midst of this freaky shit, something happened that the girl didn't like, and now she taking him to court to get some money. And he said, I ain't giving you this money. And she said, all right, well, I'm about to put you on blast. And now we're here. And Shannon has stepped down from ESPN and is going to be off air until they resolve the matter. His deal for Club Shay Shay is up in the air. Allegedly, he was supposed to be getting around $100 million. Don't know where that stands. But yeah, the young girl, I don't know her name. She is a very hard in the face. A hard 7. Nothing glamorous. Like I can't believe that a man of his stature and success got caught up with that.
Couple things, and I don't even know where to start.
People want to know why I'm single, because you niggas want to do shit like this.
I'm gonna just spitfire a couple of things, and we're gonna circle back around to all of them. 56 years old, Shannon. 56. Nasty. You know how much wisdom a person has at 56?
Nasty.
56 years old, and these are the type of decisions that you're making. Second of all, I'm judging. Okay, anybody who's on OnlyFans, you are you in the gutter for me. It's the lowest of the low that you could ever go. Somebody who's willing to do OnlyFans, willing to do anything, and I mean absolutely anything, because she's messing with you. You 56, okay? She's messing with you, and that ain't no shade to Shannon, because Shannon is a very attractive, dark skinned, tall, black, big. You know, and
I heard the stuff he was saying to Michelle. I was turned on.
Okay, Shannon fine shit, but to a 19-year-old, I know how I felt at 19. If a 56-year-old even wanted to look my way, she should be grossed out.
When I was 19,
she talking to you tells me she down for whatever, and she trying to get whatever, however she can get it. She on fucking OnlyFans,
right?
Okay. In addition to that, some of the things that I've read that this young woman was saying about wanting a black baby gravy in her and wanting a baby, and it's gonna be $25K per. She told you what she was on from the jump. She told you she was about them dividends, baby. She wanted the pesos, the dollars, the dinero, the yen. She wanted all of it. And what if something didn't click in you before you got wrapped up into being recorded? Before you got wrapped up into what you didn't know at the time was text message that was going to be later used against you. Nothing clicked in your mind, because you Shannon Sharpe, baby. You can literally have anybody. You can have anybody. But you continue to deal with that. You was a hypocrite to the people coming on your show. Okay, this comedian that I mentioned, I can't think of his name. Okay, I don't know what the overt obsession is with black men when they get some type of success that they feel like they want to get these Caucasian women, but they be mid at best. The man on TikTok made a video and said, "You messing with an Ohio 6? You
Ohio 6? I saw that. I saw that.
You messing with a Miami 6? You messing with a Midwest? These women don't even look like anything.
Yeah, I'm from the Midwest.
This what you risked your black legacy on?
Girl.
This what you put your family's reputation, your lineage, the blast. This is what you did to her?
Younger than your kids.
We can't even be. Is this reality? Shannon Sharpe, are you for real? Because when the shit happened with Michelle, you would have been tightening every nut, bolt, and screw you needed to keep shit in line. That's what you should have been doing. You should have been cutting her off. Okay? That's what you should have been doing. I don't even understand. And Shannon talked about the fact that he didn't understand why people thought that the whole situation with Michelle, that he set it up, because he said, you really think that I would lay all this on the line? You think, he said, ESPN owned by Disney.
I remember that.
Disney going for that. You think I would put a Disney contract on the line to set something up? But Shannon, you did worse than that. You did actually worse than that. I'm really confused on how, and this, we're not even so far removed from the Michelle situation. That happened last night, if we being honest. Okay? Your feet still scalding, baby. You still sitting in hot water. I'm confused, Pasha. I don't understand any of it. I don't get it. I don't understand. A man of Shannon's age and stature, you're not even old enough to know better. You old enough to have seen all of your peers and even those behind you succumb to things like this, and you still laid it on the line for somebody telling you. It's so gross to me to even think about. Because I've talked about this before too. The fetish associated with Black bodies and Black men when it comes to white women, it is disgusting to me. It makes my stomach turn. It makes me sick to my stomach for this girl to keep talking about that Black baby gravy. And we talking about somebody who's 19. We don't talk about nobody who way back in. We talking about somebody who 90s. People still think like this. Black, that would have, as a Black person, that alone should have turned you off. That alone should have just made you be like,
Out of all of the OnlyFans women to choose from,
you went with the Ohio fix.
Like, she must not have a throat. You know what I mean? Because old girl ain't got no throat.
Yeah, it ain't even for me. It ain't even about that, because this is just me this is my personal feelings into it, is the Black legacy and Black lineage is so important, which is why I stand with the Sanders boys, Dion and his boys.
Yeah,
it is so important and so critical
great segue
to the Black community as a whole, that there's just no way I would let a nut get in between what I got going on and what I stand to lose. I can't fathom it. It does not make sense to me.
It's embarrassing.
You could literally have whatever you want. You could literally have a bitch to shut the fuck up. But you keep on messing with homegirl and talking about she want baby gravy. You can have whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Whoever.
I don't understand, Pasha.
When you've got Nia Long and Sanaa Lathan and Regina Hall and Regina King, just, you know.
Have you ever heard?
In your age,
I don't know if you've ever watched Nightcap with him and Ocho Cinco.
I've caught some. I've caught a
if
couple
you
of
a clip where Ocho is really trying to get, and I call him because he my daddy age. He's a little younger than my daddy, but just out of respect, I feel like you ain't do it at this point, Shannon. So you heard the drop, you Shannon at this point, but I just feel like Ocho has tried to get him to understand some of the things he say he want, his deal breakers, things he just can't go for, is so OCD and over the top about using the bathroom in front of your person, about how many times you brush your teeth and how many times you take a shower, and you fuck with an OnlyFans person. This is somebody who is so OCD about everything. About everything. Hygiene's so important, and this and that and the third. And this what you messing with? All that went out the window. It doesn't make any sense. It's giving, I'm gonna have all of these unattainable markers that a person gotta hit to be with me. But when it comes to them white women, especially them 19-year-old ones, like he be that's how he be on that show with OJ. Joke on you. Yes, you know, ESPN. And I really hate that for you. I hate that for you because I hate to see us reach a level of success that a lot of us haven't reached. And you finally get there. You finally get there, Shannon. We all riding on your coattails. Baby, I'm hanging on your back. And this what you do. The disappointment, I couldn't even explain it to you on the show. Girl. He just actually told my daddy about Nightcap with him and Ocho Cinco. I said, Daddy, you gotta watch it. I said, because listening to him, I feel like I'm listening to my daddy. He reminds me so much of my daddy, just his mannerisms and some of the things he say. But one thing my daddy wouldn't do is that.
Yeah.
That nonsense.
Yeah.
That's some nonsense. It just burned me up.
Yeah, it's embarrassing and gross. Like it's gross. It's gross. Like hey,
It's
do
very gross.
if you are into BDSM and you into some kinky shit, what you do in your bedroom is your business. But the 19 and you 50 like is nigga.
On TikTok say I don't even know nobody that's 19.
When I was 19, I went out on a date with a guy who was 23 years old. And we had such a fun date and the night was going well. And he was like, I have to tell you something. And I was like, well, what? And he's, and I'm 19 and he's 23. So I already feel like, oh, he got a few years on me. This motherfucker gonna say, I'm really 29 years old. When I tell you I was so fucking freaked out, like that was our first and last date. And I did not want to see or talk to him anymore because if you're going to lie about that, you're going to lie about anything. And it was just like, I like 19 and you're 29. Like, I have no business being in the car with you, going anywhere, spending any kind of time with you. No.
Have you ever had an encounter with a man who was older and you knew about it? Not him that lied, but him and you knew about it? Because I have a story. I was 16. I don't even think I was 17. I'm pretty sure I was 15, 16. Pretty sure I met him when I was 16. And he was, if I remember correctly, I know he was at least 30 for sure. But I'm saying, because he might have been up to 33. I really can't remember, but he was at least 30 years old and I was 16.
I've never dated anyone like 16, super old like that.
The man was literally twice my age. And I remember like, and he drove this Benz and like, I'm thinking I'm big shit. I'm 30 years old, but he's driving this. But I remember being with him and feeling so out of place. I don't know how else to explain. I just felt so weird. I don't even know. I remember telling him, take me home. And he was like, because he would pick me up from work. Because he couldn't pick me up from my house.
Right.
Okay. And I remember what I would do is I don't even think I was driving at the time. Okay. So I think I would have to get picked up from work. And I remember where he had taken me to was like not even 10 minutes from where I actually lived, not even 10 minutes from my house. And I was so bothered that I said, just take me home. And he was like, okay. And he went to head to my job and I said, no, go the other way. I want you to drop me off at my house. And I had him drop me off like far down the street. I had to walk a couple of blocks and I made up some story about a friend from school was around the way, brought me home. But I remember just feeling so disgusted with myself that I would even entertain someone of that age. And so for Shannon to be the age that he is, entertaining someone who is younger than your children is just, unfortunately, I have to say, baby, if they drop you, if they null and void your contract, you deserve it.
It's over with.
You won't find me on the bandwagon. Shannon Sharpe, no, baby. You deserve whatever they give you.
I mean, really I feel the same way about him as I do Jonathan Majors. You done got caught up with some little white girl, and now look, I ain't got nothing to do with me. So now that we have talked about two very polarizing events with two very famous people who are in the same age range and who could have dated each other. I mean, my God,
dated each other.
But how do you? Because we've talked about this quite a bit, just wanting to be with a Black man and just believing in the Black family, and despite the challenges that we are facing, we still want to be with Black men. We haven't even we've not thought twice about dating outside of our race. How do you feel about relations between Black men and women today? You saw how critical.
I think we have so many great examples. Personally, I have great examples in my own family. I don't have anyone in my family married to Caucasian people, men or women. And all of my family is married. Okay. Everybody is married, and then children. That's just my family. That's what I saw. That's all I know. And I think from a broader perspective, we have so many great examples of Black love.
Yeah.
We have, and not even even older than my age group, because my age group is Russell Wilson and Sierra.
Yeah.
My age group is LeBron James and Savannah James. But even older than that, we have people like Denzel Washington and his wife, Viola Davis
and her husband. Yeah.
And her husband. We have so many examples of Black families and Black love that we can't say we can't say that it is because we're not doing what we didn't see. You see it, you just choose to ignore it. But at the same time, LeBron James' son don't date Black girls. He's dating white girls.
Yep.
So he's growing up in a household where his mother and father are the epitome of what society considers Black love, and he's not even going for Black love. So what is it? What is happening in society that is making Black men feel as though a white woman is the creme de la creme? It is the icing and the cherry on top to what they could have. I couldn't tell you, because when I say I don't see it for nobody but Black men, I literally don't think other people are attractive. And that is no dig at other races. I'm sure y'all are nice people. But nobody is like a Black man. Nice nobody loves like a Black man. Nobody protects like a Black man. Nobody isn't going to understand my plight about being Black like a Black man. Nobody's going to get my inside jokes and all of the things that envelop our culture. Yeah. But a Black man. I don't even I'm just date outside. I'm gonna try to date outside. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that looks like. I want to date somebody like my granddaddy. You know, I want to date somebody big, tall, Black, and strong like my daddy. That's what I want. I can't be taking no. Paul and Randy won't do it. I need Jermaine and Raekwon. Okay, that's all I know, Pasha. I wish I had more to add to that part of the conversation, but it is just beyond my level of comprehension. My scope does not reach those places.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. I have so many feelings about this topic, but like I need to go to school and write a thesis so I can get like a degree or something for like this deep dive that I've done and really like kind of thought about why things look the way that they do. But also like I don't want to say, oh, it bothers me that Black men are always dating, you know, like white girls, because that shit really doesn't bother me. Like everyone in my family that's married got married to a white person. So I've seen marriage too. I've seen it.
I would have to say I would have to admit that it bothers me. I see that shit and I roll my eyes.
Well,
I suck my teeth and all up my face. I don't like that shit.
It just kind of, you know, I just kind of like, you know, I was out last night and I was walking by myself on the streets of Chicago. It's a little bit cold. It's a Friday night. I want to go have a drink. I'm looking pretty. And then I see this mid non-brown walking with this handsome, you know, Black boy. And I'm just kind of like, what is it? What is it? Like, what is the problem? Like, what is the disconnect that's happening? Like, I know that men are visual. So exactly. Right. So I'm confused on why like mid is what you're going for. But then I think about, okay, mid probably goes to the gym and actually like works out and takes care of her body. And I don't know that we always do that in our community. And so on a superficial level, I think that there are some things that Black men want that they're not always getting.
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree because I'm not saying that they want sloppies. You know, somebody who's just a slob and really doesn't take care. Like they always eating fast food and they look like they always eat fast food. The way they thickums, the way they go for these non-browns who go and buy and lay on the table for a Black woman's body.
That is true.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I don't know if it is so outside of physical appearance. I don't know if it is the easily submissible.
That's definitely part of it. That's definitely
Of
part
other
of it.
races that Black women doesn't give you. And Michelle Obama talked about, not on a podcast with Tracee Ellis Ross, but I listened to the one after that, which was with Taraji P. Henson, and she talked about how when she was in the White House that she was trying to humanize President Obama and saying that he's not perfect. You know, he is still a man and he does still have flaws, and that a reporter called her bitter. And she was saying that people don't really know what calling a Black woman bitter does, what calling a Black woman aggressive is, and what that means. And she was like, because of the way I have to show up in the world, and the way I have to protect my husband, and the way I have to protect my children, and the way I have to protect myself, I don't show up as light as other people.
Yeah.
And so I can understand how to them it may come across as aggressive, but it is for a good reason.
Yeah.
So for Black men who assimilate to white women because they are a little bit more passive, or a little bit more docile, or a little bit more easy to submit, it is for good reason. There's a reason that you don't see as many Black women maybe doing some of the things that you get out of white women. But it's also because of the way that Black men show up for white women in a way that they don't show up for us.
Say it.
There is a cycle that at some point we have to stop perpetuating, and we just got to put a fork in the road and be like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. So I think it looks like what Russell and Sierra seem to have. I think it looks like what LeBron and Savannah seem to have. Another person who I don't never want to wish ill will on nobody, because we talked about it in the beginning of the show, baby. Some days I don't know up from down, day or night, light or dark, wrong or right. But I really am going to feel for the young man, Travis Jackson Hunter. What's his name? Travis Hunter. What is his name?
Hunter, the recent
Travis Hunter and that girlfriend of his. Because baby, when I tell you he blew down on the people for that white girl.
Yes, he did.
Down to deactivating his social media. Y'all won't do this. Not with my lady. I ain't never seen a Black man do that for a Black woman. Shut it down. And I'm gonna shut it down to the point that you can't even get next to me. I ain't even accessible anymore.
You made some very, very valid points. Well, I think that God is still working on our king. He's still working on him, and he is holding our hands, and he is guiding us to him, and eventually we're going to get there.
I appreciate that sentiment, but also I have to be, I do want to be a realist, and everybody is not paired with a person. There are people who go through life without a person.
Yes.
And if I happen to be one of those people, I'm one of those people which, to my detriment, to my downfall, I have always tried to live out the worst case scenario so that if it happened, the blow don't hit me as hard.
Yeah. Preparing for the worst, expecting the best, but preparing for the worst. I do that a lot.
So I know that that's a possibility as well. Everybody ain't paired with a person.
That's true. Well, this is a prayer that we will end up with our person, and that they will find us, and that we will have all of the deepest desires of our heart, because we deserve them. We are good people. We are good women, and we come from good stock. And it's going to take a special man to see that, receive that, and put us up. And on that note,
see y'all next week, next time, next upload. Bye.